Hello everyone, welcome to Teach Connect. Today, Mrs. Pinky Bhattachacharya is with us to share her knowledge as she is expertise in planning sessions, marking exams, teaching lessons, career advice, and many more. So let's talk to her and have a quick knowledge on her experiences she made out of teaching. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
Hello, ma'am. I'm fine. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So you have been experienced since many years into teaching, not only teaching, like into whatever the career plans and making lessons plan related to all the educational field. So have you like what is your experience towards children? Like you will be coming out with multiple abilities of children with the as well as parents as well. So what are the major complaints you'll receive from the parents? Most commonly.
Yeah. If you talk about the present time, ma'am, the pandemic has affected the children in a great way. Basically, I'm talking about the gadgets, maybe meaning the mobile phone. So the common concern of the parents is that they spend a lot of time on their mobile. And it is very difficult to make the children write something. As you understand that 2 years they had been doing their everything on their laptop, desktop, mobile phone. So they have forgotten the spellings. They don't want to write, and sentence construction has affected a lot. So all these things, somehow we feel that we have to go back to 2 years back so that we can again give them a practice. I'm talking about the higher class children also. So they are at such a stage. We can consider these 2 years as they have done nothing. We have to start it from the scratch.
So what would be your role over there, ma'am? So what would be your role as a teacher? So what all can we do to get them reinstated back to the position?
Main thing as a teacher we need to do is to keep our patience. We cannot lose our patience because we are dealing with children, and they are our future. So anytime if the teacher is annoyed, or the teacher is always in a bad mood, or is always shouting in the class, that creates a bad, impression among the children. So we have to keep our patience. We have to make them understand that how they need to practice, how they need to do regular writing, so that they can overcome this hurdle which they had been facing these 2 years. Okay. So as a teacher, I think we are like mothers to them. So we have to treat them as a child. We cannot just take it as a job where we go and teach and then we come. No, there has to be a regular connection between us so that our children can connect to us. They can speak to us. Okay. So this is what I felt that when I joined my school after 2 years we started doing physical classes, they need to sit properly. They have forgotten the classroom manners, So we have to give them time so that they can come back, they can start again.
As you have told, there was a lot of drastic changes before COVID and after COVID, as children are staying since a long time at their homes. So what changes can we make in the lesson plan when compared to earlier, before COVID? There was some methodology of lesson plan. So what changes can we implement to overcome these problems?
These changes can be, ma'am, what I have understood is that we need more time to, they need regular counseling from us. So that should not be done in such a way that they get bored up. While we are teaching, between lessons, we can take out certain things from our daily experiences so that we can count them as a story. We can prepare such anecdotes so that the children get interested and they can gain experiences from that. Okay, so if you talk about my subject, as I'm an English teacher, so grammar is very important. So I start from scratch, whether it is class 10, class 9, I do it from a scratch so that if they had forgotten that, someone who had not done it, they will do it again. But if I start something which they had not done, and if I ask them to do it on the board or do it in their class work copy, and he or she is unable to do it, they might, feel bad about it. They might somewhere feel bad that I am not able to cope up with my classmates. So in general, taking all the children, we have to do it keeping in mind about a child who is a weak child or a special child. Okay. So all these things matters a lot. We need to talk to them. A regular counseling is needed so that they can overcome the thing which they had been doing since last 2 years. As they were totally fixed to their gadgets, they were doing their classes on their bed, on their couch. So everything, even how to sit in a class, these all things should be counseled properly. And very important is to make them aware about their future, that after 2 years, where you will be, or after 5 years, what are you going to be, and how the world statistics is changing. That the children should be made to understand about the world politics, everything, so that they can understand that the time is changing. We cannot, hold back ourselves. We have to compete with others. So this is how slowly, in a very simple way, we need to talk to them.
So this is I think even it takes time to for a child to get back to his normal position as well. But since we can find many students being irregular to school now as well, carrying out with various reasons, which in turn it's nothing but they're getting great loss to their academics as well, because already 2 years they have stayed at home, it's gone. So now if they are being irregular to school, so what is the thing can we do over there? Like, do we need to counsel the parents or do we need to counsel the students? So what initiations can we take over there?
If a child is irregular, first of all, I have to talk to his or her parents, because why the child is so irregular. So these children, ma'am, I have been teaching since last 15 years. So I have seen that at home also, they have so many issues. Okay, issues between parents and all. So that definitely makes an impact upon the child. I have met so many students, maybe they are, brought up by a single parent. So these all things definitely matters. And coming back to the topic, we'll talk to the parent and find out the root cause of the problem. Second, I'll talk to the child personally, so that I can find out that if a child is not, interested in school, that means he or she must be facing some problem in school also. Like if they don't have any friend or any problem with any teacher. Okay. So these all things can be sorted out by talking to the child in a very comfortable and in a very, what to say, in a very, simple way we can talk to them, so that they don't get afraid of us, or they are opening up to us. Whatever problem they have, they can relate to us, and we can assure them that in every possible way we'll help them out.
So by this, at least a child can know what is all happening over there. At least he can just divert his mind as well, I hope. Because if he is the child is 6th standard or 7th, maybe higher class student, he can understand better what we are teaching him, like what we are trying to convey him. So when if a child is like he is a pre-primary student or primary student of grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, even what we try to convey also, like that he may not understand what we are saying as well. So for students, how can we do? Like we need to make a learning fun for him to come regularly for school. So what can we implement? Because they're not in such a stage to understand what we say.
So for those children, first of all, we can ask him or her to make friends in the class. If they have friends, no ma'am, definitely they will get attracted towards school. We can ask the parents to give them a tiffin, which is, which they like. So that can be also a thing which they would love to do in the school. They would take out the tiffin box and share it with their friends. Second, initially few days, we can take out the child for some outdoor activities, like doing any recreation thing. If the child is interested in drawing or art and craft, that can be done. Okay. So my motive is that academics is not the thing for which the child should come to school. There should be an overall development of the child, and he should grow up as a good human being, not with a grade or 99%. He should be a person who should be able to, define or understand what is right and wrong. our society needs good human beings. We don't want academicians, or you can say scholars. We want people who are good, who can recognize what is good and bad and can bring out that change in the society. So a little child, his brain is just like a cheese. So how the way we will give them, we'll treat them, they will absorb that. So in a very, like a mother, we need to take care of them. We need to talk to them. If they are comfortable in their vernacular language, we can talk to them and give them more things like interesting things, so that they are interested to come to school. They are interested to come back to the class, to sit, and then we can go on for the academics. In academics also, like if I talk about maths, we can start from simple things so that the child is interested, and slowly we can start with his or her syllabus.
That's great. And also, ma'am, you are you are very well versed in teaching English. So many students, there's a common problem that everybody, the primary reason why they don't communicate with each other is lack of communication skills. Maybe they doesn't speak fluently. Maybe show small grammatical mistakes where they tend to do. So how can they avoid that thing? By what is the thing? Like they need to speak regularly to their parents at home, or do they need to listen to multiple videos or see movies? Or what can they do to improve their language or communication skills?
Ma'am, I have a 7-year-old daughter, and what I have felt that reading is very helpful. If you want to improve their vocabulary, if you want to improve their spellings, reading is very effective. You can buy them storybooks which are of their level, simple storybooks, and encourage them to read. You can also read out to them. I'm talking this about the parents. In school, we can keep a storytelling session where a teacher can read out, and during class hours also, we can ask the children to read in the class. If they read, I'm very sure that they can overcome that problem. Another thing is, while they come to class 5, they can start reading the newspaper. Even if they read about sports, if they are reading about, any thing related to movies, whatever interests them, but that will definitely help. And I have seen that they improve when they read, and reading, helps them in many ways, improving their grammar, their language skill, their writing skill, everything gets improved. So reading is the best and the effective way to overcome that problem.
So coming for one last point, it's a major problem what we regularly face in the school is in the classroom mainly. So a discipline, we can see out of 50 students, even if 1 or 2 children is in such a way, that all the students get disturbed. They disturb the class completely. So how can a teacher manage the classroom? What are the classroom management skills so that they can put the classroom in a proper way?
And discipline is very important. A teacher, very important thing is, a teacher has to be disciplined first. Then he or she can discipline the whole class or her students. And we have a very thin line. That means we can be like their friend, but there is a very thin line which shouldn't be crossed. So during class, if a teacher is very serious and he or she is conducting his classes, that can be boring for the teacher. In between, we can crack a joke. If the child, the notorious ones, if very tactfully we can bring them in front of us, make them sit in front of us, I have noticed that they don't disturb the class anymore. So these are the things, which we have learned over years. And every year in a class, in various classes, we have these 2 to 3 are there. They're notorious, but they should not be humiliated in the class. They should never be insulted in front of their parents. Very tactfully, they need to be taken care of. Like when I said, they can be brought in front of the class. They can be made to sit next to the teacher, so that the teacher can always keep an eye on them. We can give them, responsibility. We can give them some duties, so they think, oh, the teacher has given me the responsibility. So in this way, at least we can calm them down for some time. Otherwise, we can't punish them. We cannot make them stand outside the class. That will be a bonus for them. They will stand outside and enjoy throughout the day and miss out their classes. So these things doesn't work. We have to keep our patience and deal with them.
Oh, that's great, because everybody has every teacher has a common problem. This is a common problem each and every teacher face, because they are lacking in time. Just a 40 to 40 minutes of time they will be having for each session. So at least if they are speaking to the children during these activities and all, 5 or 10 minutes gone, gets lost over there. The rest of the time they have to definitely cover it. So for this, at least teacher will be like hurrying up in completing the syllabus rather than looking into the child whether he has understood the concept or not. So they doesn't look anything. They will be given a target of, so in this week you have to complete this chapters or this much of portion you need to finish it. Just teacher also goes in that way. So how far is that methodology correct according to you? So is that the way, or we need to wait till the child understand the concept rather than a plan of that particular week?
Yeah, ma'am. As you know that I teach from class 8 to 12, so there is a huge pressure of syllabus. But at the same time, during a class, I cannot continuously go on with my syllabus because I know that more than 75% of the children can take it, rest 25% don't. So you need to shorten up your syllabus and you have to deal with a particular portion or a section in the class. If throughout 45 minutes you teach them, they will get better. One thing we can do after teaching, suppose I have taught a small portion and after that I give them some questions to write. These are the simple questions, okay? Or I ask them some questions. Okay, if I call out someone's name and I say, you are listening, no? So he will say, yes, ma'am, I'm listening. So I said, okay, be ready. I'm going to ask the questions. So in that way, it can be helpful. Small questions in a very, short questions we can prepare so that when they answer, they get confidence and they get interested. But if you complete your syllabus and you don't talk to them, you don't look at them, you don't bother whether they are taking it up or not, in that case, it can be, difficult for the student. We won't be able to know whether they are getting it or not. So we have to simplify the things. As I teach ICSE board students, so they have Merchant of Venice in class 9 and 10, and that is very difficult. As you can understand Shakespearean language. So what I do, every day I take small portions. I take small portions, I teach them, I try to simplify the language as much as possible, and then I give them questions, small questions, like who is there in this scene, who are the listeners, who are the speakers, like small 1 or 2 line questions. When they answer that, taking help from the book, no problem. I ask them to take out their books and do it. So in that way, they learn.
So this would be great, because we doesn't know whether the child is understanding the concept or not. So after at the end of the day, it seems to be nothing over there. But the ultimate target has been achieved, but the child doesn't learn anything. So it's waste of teaching as well. So this kind of traits would definitely help a teacher to get, because after each concept, if they're asking few questions on that particular topic, even children will be also they'll be also stay alert. Like, okay, ma'am might ask me, I'm the one who I'm going to be asked a question. So in that way, it is a concentrate on the class.
And the teacher has to be mobile on the during the class hours.
Okay.
He or she, if she sits at one place, and if we don't move around the class, that will make the class very boring. We need to move around to each and every corner, to each and every child, and we have to keep an eye on them. And very important thing, ma'am, what I have learned during these 15 years, that you have to keep yourself calm. We cannot carry our tensions, our problems to our children, because, it gets reflected on our personality. So you have to keep aside everything, because we are dealing with children. And when we are dealing with children, you have to be, very wise, very judgmental, so that we don't show any fault of ours in front of them, so that they are comfortable. They have a lot of, they have a faith on their teacher. And
yes, because most of the time, so because most of the time, teacher is the one who is spending a lot, most of the time with the child, right? So everything they have to learn from the school. At the end of the day, they just go and sleep at home, or they just go for a tuition and all. So most of the time they'll be spending in the school with the teachers. Automatically, everything will be reflected in the child. Whatever our activities, our things will be reflected on a child. That's great because
Definitely.
yes, because if the teacher has some issues at home, definitely when it reflects on a child, that is a
For
great
sure.
problem over there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. And thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, the tips which
Thank
you are
you.
giving over today would help many teachers who are looking for this, because out of your experiences, what we have been learned is that the different kinds of traits what you're following today, like handling different kinds of children. So according to the children, we need to mold ourselves initially. So rather than our thing, we need to do this one, or we not in a particular. According to the child, we need to enter into their mind and mold accordingly. Rather than molding
Ma'am,
the child,
main
we need to
important
find.
is we have to update ourselves. You can talk about BTS. You can ask them about it. They will enjoy. We cannot hold ourselves back. Oh, I am a teacher and I cannot talk about such things. In a very light way, you can crack a simple joke with them. They will definitely love. They will enjoy your class.
That also refreshes their mind also
Yes,
automatically.
yes,
They'll back to
yes.
the normal state again. Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is today we are very happy connecting with you, ma'am, because we have learned many things out of this session
my
today.
pleasure.
Yeah, definitely this will help many teachers watching this video. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Happy connecting with you today.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
Same
ma'am.
here. My pleasure. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.